Welcome to NBA Playoffs today. Paul Jones and Sherman Hamilton here to take you to school today. Only one game that's going to happen, but another one we need to look back at, Sherman, and look forward to, and that's Miami and Chicago. But before we get to that, the Mavericks get to play ball for the first time in 9 days, Sherman. Dallas opens its series with Oklahoma City.
Well, an older team in Dallas, but I'm sure they appreciated a bit of a break, get that body healed and rested and ready for the next series, because against Oklahoma City, there could be some real athleticism that they're going to have to face. Forget the could. There will be some athleticism that they'll have to face. They have to be prepared, ready to go, because Dallas and Oklahoma City, there could be some big fireworks.
Well, here's how they got to where they got. We're down to the final four here in the NBA, the conference finalists. And Sherman, we talked about the 9-day layoff for the Dallas Mavericks. You're right. Rest is good, but at the same time, Oklahoma City, having played every other day in a bit of a rhythm, how much rest is too much, and where does the rust start to accumulate with a team like Dallas? Let's face it, they're coming in finely tuned, or not as finely tuned as Oklahoma City, but they may be coming in as the favorite because of what they did to the defending champion Lakers.
It was a rest versus rust argument all the time. And I think for Dallas, the bottom line is this is a veteran team. They have all-star on their team, guys who are going to be in the Hall of Fame. These guys know and understand the value of the rest, and they're going to be prepared and ready to go. This team shoots the ball extremely well from the three-point line. They do a great job spacing the floor, good ball movement, and also overall, they do a good job of orchestrating offense, getting good understanding of how to implement players. And from a defensive perspective, they're much better, as we've seen all season long.
And I think that's the thing that people might be overlooking. There's so much talk about Dirk Nowitzki and what he's able to do and how tough he is as a cover. But boy, Tyson Chandler and that defensive mentality that's come from guys, and I know he's not playing like a Caron Butler, a Deshaun Stevenson. A little bit more toughness has seemed to appear in Dallas, Sherman, and I think that's the thing, more than anything else, that's taking him over the top. They could always play offense.
Absolutely, and the fact that one guy doesn't make your team a best defensive team in the league, but one guy considerably helps, and we're talking about Tyson Chandler. The job he does, he allows everybody on the perimeter to press up a bit more, put a bit more pressure, understanding that behind them, they've got a guy who can clean up some of their mistakes. Tyson Chandler has accepted that role. He's relished that role. He's been a leader in that area. And when you talk about Dallas in the past, they've been a great offensive team all the time. 50-plus wins all the time. The bottom line was toughness, defensive pressure. Could they take that step? I think they've done it now since Tyson Chandler's been there.
Well, we got two superstars in this series that are very tough covers. I don't care what people say about Kevin Durant. He's a 7-footer with those arms and the way. I mean, he came into the league as, what, 15? He's probably grown to 7 feet now as a guy in his 20s. Both guys are tough covers, Sherm. Let's take a look at Nowitzki first off. He's got so much in his bag of tricks. In his post-up area, he likes that pinch post area. He will drive it to the basket. He can pull up. He can step back. What do you do with this guy?
Well, nobody does anything right with him because he still scores, but he's so difficult. Not only because he does a great job scoring the basketball, it's how he does it. The one-legged runners, the pump fake with the ball high, the ability to create contact, step through, get on the block, post up a bit. And for a guy who's 7 feet and who is quote-unquote not as tough as you'd like him to be, he gets in there on the glass and he helps out as well. But another step that Dirk Nowitzki has taken is his passing game. He's been able to understand attracting people, finding teammates, makes the game that much easier for him. And when you're a knockdown shooter like that at 7 feet, it forces defenders to get really close to you. Once they get close to you, he's got the dribble game to get by people, to create space, to get his shot off.
Well, and so does Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Sherm, I heard you talk about that, and boy, it sounds just like a mirror image of a guy on the other side. I wonder how Durant will be when they start throwing double teams at him. I know that he's probably seen a lot over the course of his career, but it's different in the playoffs. They're going to be watching for the tendencies, who you tend to look for. And Durant might not be the only guy they try and double team. They might try and take the ball out of Westbrook's hands as well.
Well, absolutely. Well, Kevin Durant, we're going to see how good of a passer he is if Dallas decides to double team him. But you know this, Kevin Durant will use his athleticism, his length, and he will get shots off. He'll be able to score the basketball. It's trying to make him uncomfortable. He scores in a different way than Dirk Nowitzki does. Kevin Durant, still quick, still long, will use his speed against you, will use his athleticism. So you've got to figure out initial pressure, then rotating to help quickly to make sure that he becomes a passer and he's not just a guy going for 30 as he does every night.
Well, the point guard matchup will be interesting too. It's a classic old experience against young athletic when you look at Jason Kidd and Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook should look ahead because he should hope that at that age he can be as productive and as solid as Jason Kidd is as an experienced vet. Westbrook had at times some things to learn, shall we say, Sherm, in this series, in the last series against Memphis.
Well, he did, and I thought the last game he was what they needed him to be. A distribution guy, a guy who scored when the opportunity presented itself, and he's always going to rebound the basketball. So that was a more of a balanced attack. He's a phenomenal talent, Russell Westbrook. He's got that athleticism that you want from a point guard who can get to the rim and finish with the best of them. Now he's just got to figure it out between his ears. And when you think about playing against a Jason Kidd cannot stay in front of Russell Westbrook, so he's going to need a lot of help. But if you're Dallas, you might want Russell Westbrook to try and take games over, because if Kevin Durant does it, it's lights out. But if you allow Russell Westbrook to try and get crazy and think he can win a game, that might be in Dallas's favor.
Game 7, Westbrook played under control. It's going to be a tremendous matchup. Sherm, series time, prediction time, who you got?
You know what? I've got Dallas and their experience coming through at the end. I think Oklahoma City took a huge step last year with the battle against the Lakers. It's showing the fruits of that battle right now. But I think they're running into a Dallas team I think is prepared to take that next step because of their defensive element. They're going to have to slow the game down and make sure that Oklahoma City doesn't get out in transition. But Dallas is going to want to run a bit too because they can score in transition.
Well, easy baskets are what it's all about, especially when defenses are able to lock in. Let's face it, Oklahoma City with the likes of Ibaka and Collison, Perkins on the inside, a pretty fair defensive team themselves. But you know what? I'll go with the old dudes too. I'll go with the experience. I think I'm giving it to Dallas. It's going to be a hard-fought series. It starts off tonight. There's a look at all 7. Not sure how many we're going to need, but both Sherm and I like the Dallas Mavericks. The game tonight, Sherm, TSN 2, 9 o'clock. Dallas and Oklahoma City, they get it going.
Absolutely. You've been waiting for this battle. It's going to be interesting. You also have to think about Dallas's bench and what they'll be able to provide with Jason Terry and Barea coming in.
Oh, it's going to be a great series, and it all starts tonight. And we'll break this game down and this series down a little further. Chicago and Miami. That when NBA playoffs today return.
Get a lover. Hey. Wow. Kind of necessary.
Oh, wow. Some things are not made to share. Some things are. The distinct taste of Alexander Keith's, made to share.
Welcome to NBA TV Canada. A little bit of news to talk about. There has been a contract signed in Raptorland, and it's Brian Colangelo who will return as president and general manager. And Sherm, this gives him a chance to, well, start something, finish something that he started this year.
Well, you're right. Ultimately, that's what you want. You started a process of rebuilding last season. The organization bought into it. Now Brian Colangelo is going to get the opportunity to see the process move forward. Congratulations to him. And now it's about getting down to work and trying to move this thing in the right direction.
Well, sure. I always say it's kind of like a contractor, that guy that's working on your basement. You got to give him a chance to finish. Brian Colangelo will have his chance to finish it off now. Again, congratulations to him. Go to Raptors.com for all the information.
Treat every game, you want to get it on. You know, that's why this is a series. And you see some of the mistakes that you made in game one, some things we can control, and you come in with a better mindset and try your game two. That's the way they play. I'm not saying coming to the series. And that's the, obviously got a good team, but they do the little things, you know, to have them, you know, become the best team in the league. So, you know, we have to match that. And everyone coming to the game has to match that. You know, you hold them and you play people for 22 seconds, and then you get offensive rebound and pick up for threes or get layups and dunks. It demoralizes you also. So, you know, we got to do a better job of seeing guys.
We've got to revert back to our habits. And sometimes it's the little things of finishing off your defense, the next rotation to block out. And just as important, we're finishing the offensive rebound possessions. They have 5 big three-pointers after an offensive rebound that we could have gotten the shooters and make the next effort. We weren't able to do that.
Well, it'll probably be a different Miami team tomorrow night when they roll into Chicago. It better be, because if they go down 2-0, that's going to be real trouble. But Eric Spoelstra, Sherman, as we take a look at the schedule for the series, talking about finishing possessions and getting back to your habits. That's been a habit of Chicago and has been all of this year. The fact that they make those, as we're going to talk about later, those multiple efforts. They have guys getting off the floor 2, 3, 4 times. They finish possessions. They don't do just 1 or 2 out of 3 things. They do all 3, and sometimes they need to go back and do 1 and 2 again. They do that.
Well, you're right. It's not only expected under Tom Thibodeau, but I do think that this team, there's a accountability that goes along with all the little things, the rebounding, the getting after it defensively, and understanding how to rotate, and then the whole energy level that you have to play with in this defensive system to be successful. You can't just come in there and kick it half. You got to go 100%. And I think the Chicago Bulls team bought into it. Case in point, game 1.
Well, sure, let's take a look at some of those multiple efforts, especially on the defensive end, and what they were able to have Miami do. Here's one offensively. There's one jump by Noah. A couple more. Gibson, the ball's still alive, and Chicago ends up with a foul thanks to a multiple effort.
Well, you're right. And the Miami Heat guys kind of are flat-footed watching Chicago get it done. Then you talk about initiating your defense. Derrick Rose, good pressure on the ball. They get a bit of a switch here. Now look at Noah coming out to guard Mike Bibby, then watch Keith Bogans in the corner. He's talking to Noah. He's saying, send him this way. The ball gets kicked to the corner. Everybody condenses on the dribble. Now Dwayne Wade attacks. Look at all the white jerseys in the middle creating congestion. Great job to team defense.
Yeah, great job by Bogans to keep his hands active here. Up fake, Dame stays in position, gets back into his stance. Ronnie Brewer denying Dwayne Wade out. That's the first part. Is it over? No. Now he gets in his stance. He plays him straight up. Doesn't go for any of the fakes and forces a tough contested fadeaway, and Chicago gets the rebound.
All the white jerseys on the inside to rebound the basketball. And we talk about the simple things, the communication, the ability to understand where you want to force bodies, then everybody reacting on a string. And I think that's the beauty of the Chicago Bulls defense. Everybody's understanding, they're moving, they're committed, and they buy in. Yeah. That's the bottom line on defense.
Well, sure, we saw some of the deny there by Ronnie Brewer. That's one of the 3 things we always talk about on defense: pressure on the ball, the deny, and the help in the team system. Let's take a look at the way they pressure the ball. Chicago just doesn't lay back, Sherm, and let you come at them.
Well, you're right. And normally teams back off of a Dwayne Wade, and once he gets close, you want to kind of get your help. But look at Brewer. He steps into Dwayne Wade. He takes that dribble away, and he's still attacking from the back. Joakim Noah is down there in a stance, swatting at the ball. Initial pressure leads to great help from the team defense.
Well, and here's Luol Deng doing the same thing, jumping up. They get into LeBron LeBron James, and then Noah on the help knocks it away, saves it. Chicago with the turnover.
So these are normally times where LeBron James and Dwayne Wade get space to trying to operate. Look at Luol Deng, drops down off from the switch, and there's the Bulls defense to fruition. They get a bit of a switch. Luol Deng gets trapped behind, but now he understands Dwayne Wade is in attack mode. He gets to the baseline, cuts him off. Derrick Rose does a great job forcing him to the baseline, and now the Bulls do what they do best. They go after it on the glass.
Great job of building the wall there. And here Noah, watch him deny Chris Bosh. No easy catches, pressuring the ball, denying.